Thanks, Jen. I'm going to
Sure.
try to share my PowerPoint. Let me know if you can see it. It sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. Can everyone see it?
Yes.
All right, that is great. Well, awesome. Thanks everyone for being here and stopping by. I know this is a really exciting day of just learning and demoing stuff, and we've been thrown into this virtual world this year. So obviously I am an events industry speaker, but I am also a full-time meeting planner. So I have some interesting perspective to share about virtual events and virtual speakers and virtual MCs and why you should hire one. So obviously I will be pitching myself. I'll talk a little bit about my background and what I do and how I can help you with your virtual events. But I've found with meeting planners in the industry, you guys are really interested also to learn about my speaker kit, my lighting kit, what I buy for the people that I hire when I hire keynotes, or when I have people in my office speaking and they have terrible backgrounds and they have terrible lighting. So I'm going to share all of that as well. And also some interesting engagement styles that I've seen and been a part of as a meeting planner and as a speaker that could help take your speakers to the next level of engagement, because we all know that it's so difficult right now to be engaged, stay engaged in this format. So oh, there goes my earring. While I don't want this to be me talking at you, I want it to be interactive. I will just throw up a couple slides. I'll go through a few things and then I'll totally open this up for conversation, and we can just have casual chat like Josie and I were just chatting about her event this afternoon and all the amazing stuff that she does, but would love to learn more about you, your events, that sort of thing. Like really, really not as a speaker, but as an event planner. I'm sure you hear that a lot. So I'm just going to kick off with, since I'm pitching myself here in the beginning, just who am I if you don't know me, my background and all of that good stuff. So as I mentioned before, I am an event planner. I've been an event planner for the past 15 years in associations, corporate, medical, federal, a little bit of everything, everywhere. And I'm currently a corporate meeting planner for a very large organization. I can't share too much about that, but they also allow me to be a speaker on the side. I'm super lucky that I get to do both and tap into my network and share my knowledge with you, because I've done quite a few things in the events industry, and there's a lot to share with you and your attendees outside of just events. So my background is in psychology. I weave a lot of social and human behavior into my talks. I am the co-founder of the Association for Women in Events, AWE. So we'll touch on that briefly here in a little bit. I know a lot of people here through that. Trina, I see you. Josie, of course, you're here. Through AWE, I was the creator of the Events Industry Sexual Harassment Task Force that now lives under the Events Industry Council. I am a speaker, and I also co-host a talk show every Monday virtually, Events from Black to White, where we tackle diversity and inclusion in the events industry and in business in general. So there's a lot that I've done over the last 15 years, a lot that I'm able to talk about and share with not only other event planners, but with your groups. So we'll talk about that here in just a second, but I kind of left it off. I do have a blog as well. I would love for you guys to visit awomanwithdrive.com. It's where all of my podcasts live, podcast interviews, speaking topics. We'll talk about my planner resource page. And I've been doing a lot of coaching on the side for women who are looking to elevate their careers or move to that next step in their career. So that is just super brief about me, and let's talk about my speaking topics while we're here before we shift into talking about virtual events. So I have several topics that I've been talking on this year. I've really shifted into speaking professionally right after the pandemic happened. I've been speaking virtually quite a bit. So topics like resilience are really, really front of mind for people right now, not just in the events industry, which obviously we've been really hard hit, but across any industry. So I talk a lot about resilience and facing challenges and bringing positivity through the chaos and how to persevere and get unstuck. I also talk about leadership quite a bit, leading through difficult times. I talk about my journey in starting the Association for Women in Events, and the events industry sexual harassment task force, because Josie can tell you we were met with quite a few challenges in the beginning and had to persevere through those to build the organization and community as it exists today. I talk about elevating women. I also talk about incentivizing employees. I talk about leadership fails quite a bit too, and learning through some of my failures in leadership over the year and how to kind of fail up and learn through difficult times. Earlier this year, I took the Yale course on the science of well-being. I know a lot of us took that course. Love that course. It really helped me find a way to bring joy and weave happiness and long-term happiness, not only into our lives and your attendees' lives, but also into in-person meetings, virtual meetings. It's all really translatable. So I was able to shift into bringing happiness to virtual events earlier this year. And it's a message that out of every topic that I do, everyone seems to want this one, because I think people want to see the positive. I think people want to understand joy and happiness, not only at work and for their attendees, but in our personal lives too. Because gosh, it has been such a challenging year. And obviously I'll say that a few times, but it's the truth. This is usually during the part of my presentation where I show a dumpster fire, but I feel like a gif of a dumpster fire, but I feel like we've all been there, like we all get it. So not needed, but the audience really loves that gif. I'm happy to share that with you. If you're also, we'll talk about this in a second, but if you are thinking about speaking in the events industry, I'm also happy to coach you in that through this journey and how to be an effective events industry speaker or speaker on your topic. Lastly, and of course, these aren't my only topics. These are just really the top 4 that I've spoken on in 2020. I talk a lot about change management. And I think I talked a second ago about resilience and feeling stuck. But I talked to a lot of audiences about that feeling of being stuck, that feeling of being paralyzed, and how to move forward and how to get to that next place, and the steps that you need to take to grieve and mourn and move on. And I talk a lot about translatable skills for people who have lost their job, who are furloughed, who are thinking about new careers. Josie is like a shining example of all things positive in that realm. She's totally made a kick-ass, successful new career out of her cooking side gig, and we're so excited for her. But I literally talk about how to get you to that point and lead you there without too many road bumps and bruises along the way. So I keep moving my camera around because I can't see anything, but I want to see your faces. All right, so we'll get to this point at the end. I want you to, again, feel free to ask me anything about why I'm speaking, what I speak on, what I use. Again, we'll talk about my speaker kit, what I'm doing in the events industry, about my failures. I love talking about my failures. I have no shame in that game. It's gotten me to where I am today. So happy to talk about the moments that I failed, the moments that I felt paralyzed, how I got unstuck. So feel free to talk to me about anything. Ask me anything at the end of this. Privately, I'll provide my information to you as well. So why hire me as your speaker? First and foremost, again, I'm a meeting planner. Like, I get that everyone's having Zoom fatigue. I get that we've tried 40 plus platforms to understand what kind of engagement is going to work for our audiences and attendees. And I'll tell you that the most successful events that I've seen have been moderated. I have acted as an MC, guiding people through the process. And until you experience a virtual event where you're kind of stuck in a few maybe WebEx rooms and you're not sure where to go, do you realize people like Jen, who's moderating right now, are so important in just providing those notes in the beginning, providing direction like, okay, here's where you click next. We'll be back in just a little bit. Try X, Y, and Z. Did you know that this feature exists? So not only am I a speaker, but I feel your meeting planner pains. And I have a lot of background in coaching speakers that have spoken for me and presented for me on virtual platforms. So I'm always looking out for you in that realm. I am co-founder of the Association for Women in Events, so I have a lot of leadership lessons, a lot of resiliency lessons, a lot of lessons for women specifically, but also for men that want to support women. So just keep that in mind. Here's where I'm going to push the community. AWE is incredible. It's a super supportive support system and community during this time. As we all go through this together, you can find us on Facebook. All you have to do is Google Elevate Her Lounge. We kind of flipped our name after the pandemic. We moved from a paid membership organization to a completely free organization that provides support, resources, all sorts of things to you for free. So not only am I going to pitch myself, but I'm going to pitch that community because it is free. We share jobs, speakers, great speakers that we've seen, things that have worked for us, things that haven't worked for us virtually and in person. And did I mention support? I think I mentioned support. So highly recommend that you check that out. And of course, let me customize something for you. I know a lot of speakers say that, but again, working with you as a meeting planner, visit the website, awomanwithdrive.com. You can watch a few of my presentations. If you don't get anything from today, you can see me in action. You can read the testimonials, which I'll flip over to the website. This is just a glance. For you, because I'm a meeting planner, I have a planner resource page. So you don't have to ask me for my bio or headshots or walk-in music or intro, extra, what I need AV-wise. It's all there. I try to make it easy for you because this is like my dream page for what I want when I hire speakers. As a meeting planner, I'm always having to go back and forth with them 500 times. So I created a landing page specifically so you wouldn't have to do additional work. And it looks like this, which I think is awesome because my web designer is bomb and a woman. And I'll just drop these here. You can check them out yourself. Just some testimonials from some of the groups that I've worked with. These are all from doing virtual presentations. So you can see that I make people feel approachable and engaged. I bring a lot of vulnerability and authenticity to my presentations. One of my presentations is called Shift Happens. And we talk about that OF moment that we all had when we found out that the coronavirus wasn't going away. So I talk a lot of real talk. And I found that that's really something that I think people need right now. I don't think they need another talking head. They really want someone who's going through it and who's willing to talk about failures and authentic and vulnerable moments throughout our career that can translate to other people. And lastly, I'm going to stop pitching myself here in a minute and we'll dig into some other things, but just some groups that I've worked with this year, the PCMA Capital Chapter, ILEA, the out of Serbia, Weston Mice, so the meetings and events industries in the West, and the Event Fortitude Summit, Untethered. A lot of you may remember me from the Age of Conversation Summit, where I met a lot of you. I was the content director of that conference and also a speaker that worked with HD in the past. So this is why I'm here. But again, I'm literally here not only as a speaker for you if there's a right fit in the future, but I have been coaching. I have been having pep talks and conversations and weekly calls with people who are looking to get inspired. I don't charge anything for that. I'm not looking to make money off of this. I really just want to connect with you and help you get to that next spot if you're struggling, if you need help, if you have ideas, if you want to pitch a new job, if you want to pitch a side gig. That's what I'm here for on top of my speaking services. So while we're chatting, let's talk about these speaker kits that everyone wants to know so much about. I'm obviously using professional lighting here and you know what, I never bring this on screen, but it's a real beauty, this blue mic that I like to use. And if I have a few other tools. Josie, I see you raising your hand.
I couldn't figure out how to do it real quick on there, so I hope you don't mind. I want to know how much that weighs.
Oh gosh, how much this weighs? Like probably more than this part of my body.
Have
Like
you thought
it's
about
pretty
doing a
heavy.
lavalier versus that? Is that,
You know what? No, because my hair and my necklaces and my neckline are always swooshing it, and it's literally just. Whoosh, 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 whoosh.
yeah,
But I have a
okay,
couple of other options for you, so that you don't have to buy the full thing. So, for
okay.
some reason, in the event forums, when I'm speaking, people want to know more about this than anything else, which I think is great because I purchased this early on. This is not only something that I think you should purchase as a meeting planner, as someone that may be on screen, that may be maybe not on video or live during your conference or emceeing, but you are teaching speakers and probably teaching some of your staff how to speak. And this just makes it a lot clearer. So camera recommendation, this is just back in stock. This camera has been out of stock for ages. And I literally just got the email from Logitech that they have a huge influx of new cameras. So I gave pricing here. This is my camera. This is the camera that Rachel Sheeran, if you know her, she's a keynote speaker in the industry. She's amazing. She recommended this camera to me. I absolutely believe in it. And Josie, it has a really good built-in microphone. So
Okay.
if you need to buy one thing, and I would suggest this with lighting being a close second. But it has a good enough mic. You're not going to get, I have like.
Do you want me, is it okay if is this kind of open for discussion?
Yes,
Oh,
totally. And I'm happy to send this to anyone. I'll drop my email in the end. I'm happy to send the PowerPoint of this kit with all of the links.
what I do with mine is, and I've gotten a lot of compliments on the videos that I'm actually producing. I've learned how to edit and all that kind of stuff on my own, is I use my iPad. And I bought a Bluetooth. I didn't want wires, a Bluetooth lav mic because I'm moving. So I position it because I do wear the necklaces. I try to position it so it doesn't hit. And then there's some other things you learn by mistakes, like making sure it's on when you're doing it. And also for background noise. So I adjust that, but that's kind of cool. But right now, I think that it would be nice to have another iPad, but I also use my iPhone 11 for some shots, but it's different. If you're sitting, what you have right there is awesome. And yeah, but that's kind of cool to know.
I do have my backup laptop here for editing. I do find Apple to be superior, but I am a PC girl. So this is my PC setup, and I usually edit over there and post my blog and everything else over there. So great suggestions. I will move to the microphone since we talked about that a little bit. It's not as expensive as people think. You can easily mute yourself and unmute yourself from there, so you don't have to mess around with the buttons on screen, which I really like. Because I'm a big fail when it comes to muting and unmuting myself. Like I'm quite surprised that I haven't muted myself a few times, just because I'm a clicker and I'm clicking through my PowerPoint, and then I manage to mess up. We're human, right? It also has, for podcasting, it has a podcast setting if you want to sing, which I'm not going to do. It has a setting for that as well. So it is multi-talented and cheaper than most people think. And yes, really heavy. So it's not like you're walking around with this thing, right? Like this is sitting on your desk. It doesn't even sit that close to me. It sits, a good 2 feet away from me, and you're still getting pretty good sound. It's here to capture that and drown out the background noise, which sometimes your computer, I don't know about you, but it's just like one big fuzz for me. And I struggle to hear people when they just have their built-in camera and built-in microphone. Lighting option, this may be number one. I know you got to see me, but like the camera is vitally important, but I don't think people really invest in the right lighting option or understand lighting and backlighting and front lighting and the type of time of day you're talking and how integral that is to this experience. I had a speaker who during rehearsals looked really great. And then we went live at 4 p.m. And not only did she have a lamp on, but she had some weird like sunset-ish stuff happening. And I really like this kit because it doesn't matter where I am in the room. I have 2 lights on me. I know a lot of people like the single ring. And I think it's great, but I think that there's always an interesting shadow situation that happens maybe on one side over here. Oh, hi, Jen. I see Jen just joined. So I say go for the double light. Also, this lighting, this cool light and warm lighting. I'm a warm lighting kind of person. Lighting is really personal. And you know, this is as tan as I'm getting with this one, but the cool lighting really takes me to ghost sleep. So you have to be aware of like lighting levels. I'm happy to go into that in detail with you offline to talk about lighting settings and cool and warmth and all of that good stuff too, because it really does matter, and it matters individually for people in their rooms and how close their windows are and all of that good stuff. The ring lighting, not a problem. A lot of people do it, it looks great, but I really do believe in the two lighting system. And this is kind of a middle ground one. Is not so expensive. You can absolutely have $1,000 kit, but this gets the job done. Also, this handy dandy countdown timer, Josie, I'll come back to you in 2 seconds. I just want to show this off because I don't have it on right now, which is totally my bad because have no idea what time it is, but it has saved me so many times. And it's really quiet. It just flashes at me. I don't know if you can see the lighting around here, but it just flashes at me so I don't hear like a big beep and I know when to start wrapping up. So another inexpensive tool that I'm happy to send you afterwards. Josie, I want to come back to you.
Okay, two things. I learned this on Zoom is if you hold down your space bar, it quickly unmutes you. And number two, how did you learn about all this?
How did I learn about all of the
you know, I'm sorry, I'm pointing at my other screen with the lighting and all that kind of stuff. I'm just kind of curious if you can share how you came up and how you found these specific products.
Yep. Well, Jen's in the room, so I can reference her. I asked Jen about her speaker kits first, that she was sending her speakers. And then I reached out to every speaker like Rachel Sheeran who looked incredible, either on video or during live presentations. And I literally just sent an email saying like, what are you using? What am I missing? What do I need? So it was all through, and it was just piecemeal, the things that worked best for me and worked easiest for my speakers. Because again, full-time meeting planner here, I'm literally sending these kits out to people in my organization that are speaking for me. I found that most professional speakers are going to have this kit. They should have this kit. You probably shouldn't pay them unless they have this kit. But I have a lot of internal subject matter experts who are sitting in the dark trying to talk on WebEx, or I'm shifting them to their first virtual meeting, virtual conference platform. So I'm literally sending these kits out to people. They have to be lightweight. They have to be inexpensive. If they break something, if they don't return them to me, and they need it to be easy to learn. And all of these fit the bill. So let me and my testing of all of these products be a lesson to you so you don't have to go through all of the testing that me and my team did before we put all of this together. All right, and then this is the finished product. This is what it looks like. Literally, this is what I'm staring at right now. I took a little picture of it so you could see. It's not a huge setup. It's not taking up my entire office, but it does make everything look nice and pretty and professional. So again, happy to, I'll drop my email in at the end so you can see how to follow up with me for speaking or for this kit. This has been a huge hit. Happy to share it with you. I get nothing from it. Obviously, it's all Amazon and tested on my end, but I hope it works for you. So really quickly, because I didn't set my timer and I am running out of time, audience virtual engagement, obviously that's a huge topic right now. Again, happy to share with you lessons learned from not only being a meeting planner and watching a lot of these presentations and hiring speakers for these presentations, but also for what I've done that's been really successful. And I think there are a few categories, at least two that I think everyone knows about right now. And one would be the talking head, right? Like you're not in a Zoom. I can't see you. I'm either, a meeting planner is either, or the producer is either pressing a button and you're watching a video of someone speak, or they're just live in your platform and they're talking at you, but there's limited engagement or just chat engagement. And that's fine. That works for a lot of messaging. That works for big companies with thousands of attendees. And then people know of the Zoom effect, right? Like we're all here in this room together. We can unmute ourselves. We are mostly on camera. Can be a lot of engagement, but there's a lot of Zoom fatigue, and there's a lot of people that don't want to be on camera. So I just wanted to share really quickly one of the events that I had the privilege of attending that I thought was incredibly effective. The attendees had a large audience. They wanted engagement, but they also knew that it was a D&I topic on, inclusivity. People weren't super comfortable with engagement. So the speaker asked everyone to turn off their cameras. And then instead of polling them, they asked questions, and people felt that way, instead of sharing verbally, could just turn their cameras on. So it was like polling and it was incredibly effective for hundreds of people. And it would be like me asking you to turn all of your cameras off right now and saying, who likes the color blue? And those that like the color blue, you could see everyone, you could see how many people were engaged. But you didn't have to talk. You didn't have to unmute yourself. There are problems with unmuting yourself. There are problems with people in 100+ person audience who will ramble, take people off topic, ask inappropriate questions, or any number of things. So this was a really effective way of engaging and feeling like, it was the right mix of engagement, but also feeling safe. And I think especially for D&I conversations, which I also talk about because I do run that talk show on inclusivity every Monday, this is the way to effectively get something like that done. So out of this time, gosh, I wish I had more time. Happy to talk to you about that. And then quickly, this presentation tool that I use, if you are a meeting planner looking to capture side-by-side PowerPoint slides with a speaker and you're looking for a free tool, panopto.com. Happy to send this to you as well. I'd love to dig into it more. It's what I use for my presentations that I have to tape, and it's free. I know a lot of people are trying to use Zoom. It's not always effective. This is an incredible free tool. You can edit the videos. You can add in just captures of what's being said and all sorts of things. So I wish I had more time to share it with you. But thanks everyone so much. I can talk about this for a really long time. I hope you learned something about virtual speakers. I hope you reach out to me. If I'm not the right MC for you or the right speaker for you, I'm happy to put you in touch with any number of amazing speakers out there and make sure that we find you the right fit. So here's my email address. I hope you reach out. I'm sorry that we don't have time for questions. I think there's someone right after me.
No. We're okay. Actually,
Oh,
I wanted
good.
to say we don't have anyone till 11, so you are okay.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, then I didn't have to rush through that, but I'm glad I did, just to leave time if anyone has questions. Jen, I can't see the chat right now for some reason, so if there's anything that came up, please let me know, or feel free to unmute yourself.
I think everything that was asked was answered. Jen would like link to the timer, and that's all we got on the chat.
Perfect. Okay, I'm just gonna
Jen.
also chat my email address. Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for being here. Randy, hi, I didn't get to see you when you came in, but you have an awesome setup.
I may have a quick question for you, and I love the Logitech cameras. For those of you who maybe are active during your presentation, like I am, these Logitech cameras, I think I have the same one with the little blue ring, the 1040. I've got as a magician. By the way, you were awesome. Seriously, you were awesome.
That's great.
Like that?
I loved it.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, so one.
You're showing me up, Randy. You're totally showing me up right now.
No, I'm not trying. I'm at 11, by the way. So I'm a magician.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
No, you're awesome. Anyway, so one question I have for you. I use two cameras, and have you ever had an issue with the Logitech? Excuse me, unfocusing. I have one quick solution, but I've had that over time where I've created a kind of a theater in my basement and for close up and whatever. But one of the big issues I've had is that I'll try to do an open broad show and then I'll move in and out and then it'll just be out of focus and completely ruins the moment if you have something. I have one solution that's kind of quick, but but I don't know if you've ever heard that before.
Yeah, it's only happened to me in WebEx. it's not happened to me anywhere else. So I think it's doing all right today. Zoom seems to be like great and never follows me around. But the thing I do like about it is that when I'm doing Panopto, it will follow me. I don't know if yours does. And this might be the latest one. I don't see a little blue ring. So it might be the newer one. It may not be.
Well, I've got the blue on my up there, and then there's one. If you look, it's kind of hard to see it, but I have it up here. I don't know. It's kind of hard to see it. Anyway, long story short, the only thing I have found, because I'm moving in and out, like within 5 feet, 3 feet, it goes in and out. I've clicked on my video and stop it for a second and restart it, and it seems to refocus it. That's the only thing that I've noticed. That kind of is it's not the perfect balance, but I mean, same thing. I love these cameras. You know, I don't know how the sound is so much, but occasionally I get that. So that's the one issue. I don't know about. I've heard it's good quality, and it's always kind of weird trying to hear. Excuse me, I'm going to dry throat. Hearing yourself, you know, I don't know if you hear an echo or not, but anyway, that's the only thing that I thought of that has been an issue with me over time.
Good. Are you on PC?
I'm on a Mac.
You're on a Mac? Okay. That might be a Mac issue because I've not had an echo or anything. Of course, I've had tons of AV issues, but it's usually the platform or my internet.
How about freezing up at all? How about freezing up?
No freezing unless my internet decides to freeze.
Oh, that, yeah. Okay. And do you find if you plug in to the computer, like right now, I just went in, I have it plugged in directly into the modem. Not that I would have an issue with my Wi-Fi, but occasionally I just, you know, what if that Wi-Fi signal gets broken for a second, you get that frozen moment. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just, these are little tactile challenges that I think that.
That's a good point, because I just had a group of speakers who plugged in to their computer. They were on Wi-Fi, and we do ask them to plug into the cable, the Ethernet cable, and they forgot to turn off their Wi-Fi. So they were still streaming Wi-Fi, and they were trying to figure out why that was happening. I'm going to drop the speed test in here. That's something I should have done. Speed test. Okay, I'm going to drop speedtest.com, but I know it's not that. It's going to come up though. That's what I use for my speakers. I have a link that I send all of my speakers in the speaker kit, and I say, send me back what the speed test says to see if the Wi-Fi is good enough. And if it's 10 or more, the Wi-Fi is good enough. If it's 10 or under, I ask that they plug in and physically turn off their Wi-Fi on their laptop or computer, or they'll keep streaming the Wi-Fi. So just lessons learned from the last couple of conferences that I've had to stream, and speakers that I've had to tape. Those were problems. Speed test has saved my life a few times. Highly suggest it, recommend it. I keep it in my email so I can send it over to you, but off the top of my head, it's speedtest.com.
Yeah,
it'll get you there.
I do check on my Comcast app and see if you know, what's the speed, and it fluctuates throughout the day. You know, it can go from as low as 10 or 15 up to 60. I mean, it just varies and depending on who's on. But great information. I'd love to connect with you.
Awesome. Definitely. We're always looking for amazing entertainers. So hopefully I'll be able to connect with you later today and see the show. I am back to back to back. I'm actually on another call, so I hate to jump, but I would love to talk to you guys offline and learn more. Trina, good to see you as well. It's been a little bit of time. It's been since Age of Conversation. So good to see your face. I'm glad to see everyone smiling. It's looking positive. The holidays are almost here, so enjoy your time off and make sure you drop me a note.
Thank you so much, Carrie. Thanks, everybody. You can go into the other rooms. You can hop around all day. So just have fun and check everything out, especially Randy.
Thank you. See you later.
Bye-bye. Okay.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Going to be